Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we got another courtroom video. And this one is when famous celebrities are sentenced to life in prison. Now I really don't know many famous celebrities that were sentenced to life in prison, so either this will surprise me or it'll be bait and switch. But we'll find out. Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comments, think down below. Let's go.
Harvey Weinstein is heading to prison. Judge James Burke in New York City just delivered the sentence. 23.
You are a sinful and disgusting human being, and until your death, you deserve every bit of suffering that jail time and prison might bring to you.
You upset with your crew though because of that shooting? Like now you can't perform there at the Barclays Center.
I be beating the shit out of people. You know what I'm saying? Winning every battle I get into. You know what I'm saying? How many L's I took? I haven't taken not one L.
Now to the former Bachelor who could wind up behind bars. It is sentencing day for Chris Soules, who pleaded guilty for his role in a fatal accident.
Chris Soules, who gained fame as a star on the reality show The Bachelor, found himself in a legal battle following a tragic car crash in 2017. He faced charges for leaving the scene of a fatal accident, which received significant media attention.
Sorry, something was bothering me. I had to go back.
You know what I'm saying? How many L's I took? I haven't taken not one L.
Case 1. Chris Soules.
Now to the former Bachelor who could wind up behind bars. It is sentencing day for Chris Soules, who pleaded guilty for his role in a fatal accident.
Chris Soules, who gained fame as a star on the reality show The Bachelor.
I hate that TV show. I'm gonna be real honest. I hate that TV show. No, what is it? There's something about that TV show just I hate with a passion.
Found himself in a legal battle following a tragic car crash in 2017. He faced charges for leaving the scene of a fatal accident, which received significant media attention due to his celebrity status.
Yep.
Throughout the legal process, Soules' reactions were marked by deep remorse and regret. After the accident, Soules immediately called 911 and tried to help the victim before leaving the scene before the authorities arrived, which led to the charges against him. As the case unfolded, he chose to keep a low profile and expressed his remorse through his legal team. When he accepted a 2-year suspended sentence in 2019, he openly acknowledged his regrets, saying, "The entire day of the accident, I was delivering grain and fertilizer."
2-year suspended sentence. He literally, that's not even close to a life sentence. That is just a 2-year sentence. Don't label this. Don't title the video this if it's not that. Just don't. Do a different title.
A field. Not a moment goes by that I don't wish I could have done more or changed the outcome of what happened. Soules' response to his sentencing demonstrated the weight of his remorse. Unlike some individuals who may challenge their guilt or the fairness of their sentence, Soules accepted responsibility and expressed genuine sorrow for the situation and his role in it. His actions and words during the legal process provided a glimpse into the emotional toll such a tragic incident can take, even when it was unintentional.
Lori Loughlin is going to prison. The Full House actress was sentenced today to 2 months behind bars and a $150,000 fine for her role in the college admission scandal.
In 2019.
Interesting. Okay. You have my attention. I know it's still 2 months, so technically still not life in prison. I feel like none of these are actually going to be life in prison. But I'm very curious to see what this thing is. So, what is this college admission scandal she was part of?
Lori Loughlin, known for her role in Full House, became the center of attention for reasons unrelated to her acting career. She and her husband...
I mean, I don't know anyone who goes to prison just for acting. I mean, if they sentence... Do you know how bad you would have to be of an actor for them to see you do an acting gig and be like, okay, we gotta arrest this woman to get her off of acting, get her out of acting because this is so bad. She is so bad at acting that we have to arrest her. We have to sentence her to life just because she's so bad that she will never act again.
Husband, Massimo Giannulli, were embroiled in the notorious college admissions scandal, commonly referred to as Operation Varsity Blues by the media. Initially, when they were charged, the couple put up a united and defiant front. Laughlin even signed autographs and interacted with fans outside the courtroom, seemingly unshaken by the situation. They both pleaded not guilty, firmly maintaining their innocence during the early stages of the case. However, as the seriousness of the charges became apparent, their demeanor changed. When Laughlin was sentenced to 2 months in prison, she appeared remorseful during the sentencing hearing. With teary eyes, she expressed her apologies for her actions, mentioning that she had acted out of love for her daughters. Her reaction at the sentencing showed a shift in understanding the gravity of her actions, which was in stark contrast to her previous cheerful disposition.
I feel like that's most cases with celebrities. Like, no celebrities don't actually see the weight of their actions. They kind of just think they're going to get away with their actions and they're not going to do any. That was going to happen because they're famous. And then they get the star and the wake-up call that is, you're going to jail. Hers is only 2 months, so that's still not bad. And $150,000 fine, she probably paid in her sleep. But it's insane that, like, that's the case. That it's just how much easily that can be a wake-up call when you actually get sentenced.
Details about actress Lori Loughlin's life behind bars as she begins her sentence after pleading guilty in the college admissions bribery scandal. ABC's Megan Tevrizian reports Loughlin will likely be out of prison before Christmas.
Yeah.
After serving her prison sentence, Lori Loughlin was released, but the consequences of the scandal still linger, affecting both her personal and professional life.
Rapper Kodak Black.
Oh, god damn it.
And professional life.
Okay, I had the skills. The name popped so quick, I had to see Kodak Black, okay, Bill K. Capri. Okay. Oh, come on, work, you stupid fucking space
Rapper
bar.
Kodak Black from Pembroke Pines is under arrest again, this time on 7 felony counts.
Bill K. Capri, widely known as Kodak Black in the music industry, has had a troubled legal history despite his young age. In 2019, he faced a significant sentencing, receiving a 46-month prison term for providing false information on federal forms to purchase firearms.
Woo! 46 months? That's over 3 years. That's almost 4 years. Almost 4 years in prison. Again, that's not life, but was someone like him, that's probably a humongous wake-up call. Plus, if you think in the music industry, once you're gone 4 years, most of the time you're just forgotten that quick.
Throughout his legal struggles, Kodak Black's reactions have been a mix of defiance, regret, and attempts at self-improvement. While serving his prison sentence, he has made statements complaining about mistreatment and claiming abuse. At the same time, he has shown remorse for his actions and expressed a desire to better himself. When he was sentenced in 2019, it appeared that Kodak Black grasped the gravity of his actions. During the court hearing, he stated, "I apologize for the actions that led me to where I'm standing. I do take full responsibility for my mishap." These reactions to his various legal issues depict a young man grappling with the consequences of his past behavior. The back and forth between defiance and remorse reflects the turbulent journey he is going through as he tries to come to terms with his actions and take responsibility for his mistakes.
Actress Felicity Huffman has now been released from prison early after serving 11 days of her 14.
So most people just decide to stop working. I don't know why. Felicity Huffman. I'm gonna say that name wrong. Okay, but I don't know who this is.
Actress Felicity Huffman has now been released from prison early after serving 11 days of her 14-day sentence.
Felicity Huffman, a well-known actress nominated for an Academy Award and famous for her role in Desperate Housewives, was also involved in...
Think about this for a second. 14 days. The big deal of 11 day of a 14-day stay. She spent 2 whole weeks in jail. Not even 2 weeks in jail. Whoop-de-doo.
In the 2019 college admission scandal, along with other high-profile individuals. Unlike Lori Loughlin, Huffman chose to plead guilty at an early stage, admitting her involvement in conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud. Her reaction to the charges was noticeably distinct from Loughlin's. From the beginning, Huffman expressed genuine remorse for her actions.
Felicity Huffman walked out of court late Friday, but within the next 6 weeks, she'll need to walk into a federal prison.
Felicity Huffman acknowledged her wrongdoing and sincerely apologized, taking full responsibility for her actions. She openly accepted her guilt and expressed deep regret and shame for what she had done, fully aware of the consequences she would face. When she received a 14-day prison sentence, she appeared solemn and contemplative, indicating a genuine understanding of the seriousness of her actions. And
she was probably because 14 days ain't that damn much. If I was told you're going to jail for 14 days for a whole fucking mail-in fraud thing, I'd be like, okay, I'll come to terms with that. That's 2 weeks. I'll last that. I can handle that.
And the impact they had. In her statement after the sentencing, she reiterated her remorse and accepted the court's decision, standing in stark contrast to the initial reactions of other celebrities involved in the scandal. Felicity Huffman's handling of her involvement served as a valuable lesson in accountability and remorse. She acknowledged her mistakes, embraced her punishment, and has been working on rebuilding her reputation since her release.
He comes walking
Army
up to the
Hammer.
U-Haul and he smells it for half a second and he sits down and just puts his little cute paw right on our car, and that was the kiss of death for us.
What did you guys have?
We had like weed. I mean, that was it.
Oh, it's just weed.
It was just weed. It's legal now, so
Yeah.
like now I'll say it was just weed.
Armie Hammer, a well-known actor recognized for his roles in movies like The Social Network and Call Me By Your Name, faced a significant amount of controversy and legal trouble in 2021 due to allegations of sexual assault and abuse that emerged against him. These serious accusations prompted the Los Angeles Police Department to launch an ongoing investigation. In response to these charges, Hammer's reactions have been a combination of shock, denial, and efforts to salvage his professional career. Initially, when the allegations came to light, he released a statement vehemently denying them and described them as false and malicious attacks spread online. As a result of the controversy surrounding him, Hammer withdrew from several high-profile film projects. The situation took a different turn when his lawyer confirmed that the actor had entered a treatment program for dealing with drug, alcohol, and sex-related issues. This move was seen as an acknowledgement of personal problems, diverging from his previous firm denials. However, it is essential to note that Hammer has not publicly admitted to engaging in any criminal conduct.
So this is a guy who's not even, like, he hasn't even made, this is not even a guy who's been sentenced. He's just been, an investigation has just happened that he could easily probably get away with, because unless there's real evidence, he probably would like to get away with it.
Humiliated and shamed. The president's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, just sentenced to 47
months. Again, that's almost 4 years. 4 years in prison.
months. That is 1 month shy of 4 years.
Yep.
For running a global scheme to avoid paying millions in taxes, defraud.
In 2019,
God.
Paul Manafort,
So he did that just to avoid paying taxes? This man did a whole little fucking fraud thing just to avoid paying some taxes? Man, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Oh man, you just supposed to pay pay taxes. Like everybody else, you don't get to avoid paying taxes. You gonna pay your taxes. And you go in jail for trying not to.
experienced political consultant and former chairman of Donald Trump's presidential campaign, received a sentencing for various charges, which included tax fraud, bank fraud, and failure to disclose foreign bank accounts. His case gained significant attention as it was one of the prominent outcomes of the special counsel investigation led by Robert Mueller. Manafort's response to the charges and his subsequent sentences showed a mix of defiance and moments of regret. Prior to his sentencing, he expressed some remorse for his actions, acknowledging that the past 2 years had been incredibly challenging for him and his family, using words like humiliated and shamed to describe the experience. However, he stopped short of offering a full apology for his actions. When he was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, which was considerably less than what the sentencing guidelines recommended, Manafort showed no visible reaction. His stoic demeanor sharply contrasted with the gravity of the crimes he was found guilty of committing.
This sentence, in my view, failed to do justice to the very serious crimes that Manafort has committed, as well as his utter disrespect for the law, feeling he is above the law.
During Manafort's trials and the subsequent sentencing, it was evident that he was struggling to come to terms with the seriousness of his actions. While he occasionally showed moments of regret, his overall demeanor remained mostly emotionless, which has led to doubts about his genuine acceptance of the wrongdoing he was convicted of.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, this is a name I actually know. I just never knew what he got arrested for. Because I'm out of the loop with most celebrity shit. So this one I love to know.
Weinstein is heading to prison. Judge James Burke in New York City just delivered the sentence, 23.
Harvey Weinstein, a prominent figure in Hollywood and a co-founder of Miramax and the Weinstein Company, once held a highly regarded position in the entertainment industry. He was known for producing numerous Oscar-winning films, making him a respected figure. However, his reputation took a major hit when shocking allegations of sexual assault and rape surfaced against him. In 2020, Weinstein faced a trial for these serious charges, and to the surprise of many, he was convicted of criminal sexual act in the first degree and rape in the third degree. This marked a significant moment for the hashtag #MeToo movement, which
I think this is what sort of started it, wasn't it? This is what started the Me Too movement, was everyone coming out against him. And it was him who... And yeah, usually most times, because most cases like this, the person gets away with it. The person's not even charged. Because they don't... Usually they don't have evidence, or just there's something that usually makes it so they're not really charged. But not in this case. This guy was sentenced 23 years. Gonna go rot in prison for the bullshit he committed.
Which had been advocating for justice and raising awareness about sexual misconduct. As the verdict was announced on February 24th, 2020, Weinstein appeared mostly expressionless and seemed to be in disbelief. He murmured to his legal team, expressing his denial by saying, "But I'm innocent." Even in the face of the verdict, he continued to maintain his innocence throughout the trial, claiming that all of his sexual encounters were consensual. This stance led to a storm of disbelief, belief, and outrage in the media and among the public, especially considering the numerous women who came forward with accusations against him.
Harvey Weinstein has finally been held accountable for crimes he committed. The women who came forward courageously and at great risk made that happen.
When Harvey Weinstein's 23-year prison sentence was announced, he once again showed little emotion. Despite his stoic demeanor, there were moments of vulnerability where he appeared pale and lost, reflecting the gravity of the situation. He expressed confusion, trying to grapple with his conviction while reconciling it with his understanding of consent. Following the sentencing, Weinstein's defense team quickly voiced their dissatisfaction, deeming the sentence obscene and cowardly. They
Oh, get a grip, would you? It's not cowardly to arrest a rapist for 23 years. It's probably almost justified. It's justified. Don't you give me that fucking cowardly bullshit. What do you want him to do? Fucking hell. What do you want him to do? Send him to a fight? Fight it out? Is that what you preferred? What do you want him to do? Have a conversation with? Well, we couldn't just talk this out, you all cowards? You couldn't just have a conversation? Is that what your issue is? You dipshitted fuck. What's wrong with y'all? What a bunch of dumbasses.
They argued that the judge had succumbed to the pressures of the hashtag #MeToo movement, struggling to come to...
These people, these lawyers are fucking stupid. These lawyers are fucking stupid. Did you know how many times they've let rapists go? Do you know how many times they've let rapists go because they just don't have anything so the person gets away with it? You don't even know how many times they've done this. Don't give me that bullshit. They don't give a fuck.
To terms with the severity of the sentence, Weinstein himself asked his lawyers in disbelief, "How can this happen in America?"
What did he say to you after the verdict? I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. How could this happen in America? I'm innocent.
While the victims and their supporters saw Harvey Weinstein's sentencing as a triumph, Weinstein himself had a different reaction. After the sentencing, he appeared emotionless and motionless, seemingly unable to fully comprehend the reality of his situation as he was taken away in handcuffs. Once a prominent figure in Hollywood, he now appeared defeated and disbelieving. The sentencing of Harvey Weinstein was not only a major downfall for the film producer, but also had a profound impact on the entertainment industry. It served as a wake-up call for many, prompting a serious conversation about sexual harassment and abuse within Hollywood. The trial and subsequent sentence...
It's insane to me that people, like, because, yeah, that is a thing that people have to worry about. There were producers and directors and insane people who take advantage of people in Hollywood because they know they have power, so they take advantage of that power, and it's just accepted. It's an accepted thing in Hollywood. Why is that an accepted thing, though? That fucking shouldn't be. It's absolutely ridiculous. Then, because they have to worry, the people who do it, who get taken advantage of, who get raped, who get whatever, they can't just go fucking report it, because if they do and there's no evidence to prove it, they'll just get fucking blackmailed from Hollywood and lose their career. So it's complete fucking ridiculous.
Had far-reaching repercussions, sparking significant changes and discussions in the industry.
We know that there are many other victims of Harvey Weinstein who were not testifying at this trial, but their voice was heard through these 6 courageous women.
The so-called pharma bro has been sentenced to 7 years in prison. Martin Shkreli is a former pharmaceutical executive who was convicted of defrauding investors. But he made headlines for hiking the price of the life-saving drug Daraprim by 5,000%.
Martin Shkreli, a pharmaceutical executive notorious for dramatically increasing the price of a life-saving drug, received a sentence in 2018 for securities fraud, unrelated to his pharmaceutical activities. During his charges and trial, Shkreli's behavior stood out for its defiant and dismissive nature. He made headlines with flippant remarks and a smirk in the courtroom. He even belittled the prosecutors, referring to them as junior varsity, showing little concern for the seriousness of the charges against him. However, when he was sentenced to 7 years in prison, Shkreli's demeanor took a significant turn. He broke down in tears during the sentencing, expressing remorse for his actions. "I was never motivated by money," Shkreli stated. "I wanted to grow my stature and my reputation. I am here because of my gross, stupid, and negligent mistakes I made."
Yeah, you are. And you go to prison for those stupid, negligent, dipshitted, all fucking whatever the hell you called the mistakes you made. And you're going to jail for 7 years for it, like you deserve. Who cares about your reputation? You're a dipshit that screwed it up.
Response to the sentencing was a clear departure from his previous attitude. The tearful apology and expression of regret contrasted sharply with the defiant and dismissive persona he displayed throughout the trial. This case highlights how a person's public image can drastically change when faced with severe legal and personal consequences. Despite his earlier nonchalant behavior, Shkreli's reaction to his sentence showed a recognition of the gravity of his actions.
Joe Exotic.
A federal judge is set to decide a new sentence today for Tiger King Joe Exotic. An appeals court ruled last year that the 22-year prison term he's serving should be shortened. Exotic, whose real name is Joseph Maldonado Passage, was convicted 2 years ago of hiring people to kill animal rights activists.
Joseph Maldonado, also known as Joe Exotic, became widely known to the public through the popular Netflix documentary series Tiger King: Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. As a flamboyant former zookeeper and enthusiast of big cats, his life took a dramatic turn, leading to legal troubles that culminated in a high-profile trial and sentencing. Joe Exotic's journey from the self-proclaimed Tiger King to a convicted criminal was filled with twists and turns. He was deeply involved in the exotic animal industry, running the Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park in Oklahoma, where he showcased tigers, lions, and other wild animals. In 2019, he faced multiple charges, including murder for hire and various wildlife violations. These charges were related to an alleged plot to have his rival, Carol Baskin, a prominent animal rights activist, murdered.
Oh my god, that's the thing between him and Carol Baskins? I completely misunderstood. I had no idea what the hell that thing was, but... Oh my god, why would you... Carol Baskins ain't that big of a deal. Get a grip of yourselves there, Exotic. My god.
Trial gained global attention due to its eccentric cast of characters and Joe Exotic's larger-than-life personality. Throughout the trial, Joe Exotic consistently proclaimed his innocence, claiming that he was framed and unfairly targeted. His case attracted a dedicated group of supporters who firmly believed in his innocence and rallied behind him. However, the evidence presented during the trial painted a different picture. Recorded conversations, testimonies, and a trail of incriminating actions ultimately led to his conviction.
I am grateful that justice was served and Joe Schreibvogel-Maldonado Passage hopefully will serve time in prison and no longer present a threat either to me or to his former big cats. While media attention regarding this trial has primarily focused on the murder for hire charges, there is a much larger significance to the wildlife charges.
When the jury declared Joe Exotic guilty, he appeared shocked and couldn't believe the outcome. In January 2020, he received a 22-year prison sentence along with substantial fines, and his reaction was visibly shaken. In court, he tearfully addressed the judge before receiving his sentence. This marked not only the end of his self-proclaimed title as the Tiger King, but also a significant downfall. Joe Exotic's story became a cultural sensation, shedding light on the dark side of the exotic animal trade.
Yeah, this guy, because I knew of this guy through the documentary thing, but I didn't actually watch it. I just knew he existed because I couldn't get away from the guy on social media. Every time I fucking turned around, I saw this guy. But yeah, good to know he just got sentenced to jail because he's a stupid ass who tried to commit murder on a freaking animal rights person.
And the peculiarities of those involved. The trial brought attention to the mistreatment of animals, the clash between private zoo owners and animal rights activists, and the limitations of justice in a world that often feels stranger than fiction.
President Trump's longtime personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, is going to jail. Cohen has just been sentenced in a New York City courtroom on multiple charges, including his role in paying hush money during the 2016 election to two women alleged to have had affairs with Trump. Payments prosecutors say were coordinated with and directed by Donald Trump himself.
In 2018, Michael Cohen, a former attorney and self-proclaimed fixer for Donald Trump, became embroiled in legal troubles. He faced multiple charges.
Why should I feel like we should not be surprised that Michael Cohen got the guy who says he's a fixer of Donald Trump ended up getting legal issues himself? Why should I not be surprised? Why am I not surprised by that?
Including tax evasion, bank fraud, and campaign finance violations. Cohen had been a loyal aide to Trump, but started to distance himself from his former boss as legal pressure mounted. Eventually, he pleaded guilty to the charges and was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. During the court proceedings and sentencing, Cohen attempted to place some blame on Trump. He portrayed himself as a victim of Trump's influence and manipulation.
Of course he's like, oh, no, it wasn't me that committed it. No, it was all Trump. Blame Trump. See, you all hate Trump, so blame him. We can blame him and let me clear. Then we can all blame Trump together. Let's all blame Trump. Like, no, you're going to jail. But it was Trump!
Claiming that his loyalty to the former president had led him astray. Despite
give me a break.
Despite this, he also acknowledged his responsibility for the acts he had pled guilty to, both those personally affecting him and those involving the President of the United States of America.
I am ashamed because I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
Cohen's sentencing and how he...
Fuck this dude, fuck Donald Trump, and fuck everything else. This guy fucking dipshit for what he did.
Reacted afterward demonstrated a significant change from the person who had previously stated that he would be willing to take a bullet for Trump.
He'd be willing to until it came to him, unless if it was... Because he's the guy that would go jump in the bullet, but just miss it, you know, just jump way before the bullet gets shot, but at least he attempted, right?
R. Kelly, whose real name is Robert Kelly, used to be a highly regarded R&B singer, songwriter, and producer.
Yep.
However, his life took a dark and dramatic turn when he became entangled in a series of disturbing allegations and legal issues related to sexual abuse, manipulation, and exploitation. The rumors and accusations surrounding R. Kelly had been circulating for years, but it wasn't until the documentary series Surviving R. Kelly premiered in 2019 that the full scope of the allegations against him was exposed to the public.
After sentencing, supporters of R. Kelly shouted affirmations to the disgraced R&B star. The Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter sentenced to 20 years for child pornography and enticing a minor, a case possible after victims came.
The documentary series provided a platform for numerous women to come forward and share their stories of abuse, exposing the disturbing behavior that R. Kelly was alleged to have engaged in.
There are so many that he's another celebrity who no one had probably a bunch of supporters saying he's innocent, because there were people, despite their evidence is so organic, like so massive, will just die on a hill for the sake of dying on a hill. He's the type of guy that deserves to rot in prison for committing abuse, that's taking advantage of power that he had as a celebrity, and he deserves to rot in prison for that.
After the documentary's release, law enforcement took action. And in February 2019, R. Kelly was indicted on multiple charges, including sexual exploitation of minors, child pornography, and racketeering. The charges spanned over a period of 2 decades and involved accusations of sexual abuse, coercion, and illegal activities. Throughout the legal proceedings, R. Kelly vehemently denied all allegations against him. Despite mounting evidence, he maintained his innocence and claimed that he was being unfairly targeted. He suggested that the accusations were part of a conspiracy to damage his reputation. In August 2021, R. Kelly's trial finally began, and survivors bravely testified, sharing their stories of the alleged abuse they endured at the hands of the singer. The trial became a significant moment during the #MeToo era, shedding light on the systemic issues of mistreatment of women in the music industry. When the verdict was announced in September 2021, R. Kelly's immediate reaction was not disclosed. However, he was found guilty on multiple charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. The jury's decision was seen as a major step towards justice for the survivors who had bravely spoken out about their traumatic experiences.
I think it's very clear that there have been multiple victims associated with R. Kelly. And when you deal with minor children, I don't think anyone is going to draw a conclusion that a child in any way could have brought this on themselves.
You underestimate the stupidity of the fucking world, my friend. You actually underestimate the stupidity of fucking human beings. Because I bet you there was some. Because there was some fucking stupid fuckers out there. This is another guy. This is the name right here. This is another guy. This is the raw in prison. The fact he isn't in prison is fucked up to me. Fuck this dude.
Bill Cosby, once a beloved TV dad, and tonight a judge now determining that he is a sexually violent predator, ordering Cosby be cuffed and immediately sent to prison.
Bill Cosby.
He deserves to still be in prison. He's not in prison now, and that's fucking bullshit.
Famous for his role on The Cosby Show, and once regarded as America's dad, faced a significant turn of events in 2018 when he was convicted of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault. His trial became a notable landmark during the #MeToo era, and a major legal victory for the numerous women who had accused him of similar misconduct. When the guilty verdict was announced in the courtroom, Cosby surprisingly remained calm. However, it also marked an unprecedented moment of anger from the once respected comedian. As the prosecutors requested immediate imprisonment due to concerns about him fleeing, Cosby erupted in a shocking outburst filled with profanity, surprising everyone present in the courtroom with the intensity of his reaction.
I wish I could hear that. Is there audio of that? I want to hear his reaction. Is there audio of him bursting out in rage and swearing up a storm? I want to hear that.
Throughout his trial and sentencing, Cosby continued to assert his innocence, even refusing parole because it would have required him to participate in a sex offender program. Despite the conviction, he maintained his stance that he was not guilty of the charges brought against him.
You are a sinful and disgusting human being, and until your death, you deserve every bit of suffering that jail time and prison might bring to you.
Throughout the legal process, Bill Cosby's reactions varied from defiance to anger. The once beloved and friendly image of Cosby seemed to have disappeared, replaced by a man grappling with the dramatic downfall of his reputation. When the day of his sentencing arrived, Cosby received a prison term of 3 to 10 years. As the sentence was read, he appeared emotionless, maintaining a strong and determined gaze. This calm and stoic response stood in stark contrast to the lively and animated persona that the public had known him for.
Did you ever think that this day was going to come?
I've dreamt of this day for 32 years. And I turned 50 as the best birthday present.
Oh boy, this one interesting. I don't know much about this one either, but I'd love to know more.
6'9".
Holy shit, they got a big old brawl. Motherfuckers just going on a long brawl.
Daniel Hernandez, also known as Tekashi 6ix9ine, gained fame in the music industry for his flashy style, aggressive rap, and controversial image. However, his career took a sharp turn when he faced serious legal troubles and became a central figure in a highly publicized trial in 2018. Tekashi 6ix9ine was arrested on multiple charges, including racketeering, firearms offenses, and conspiracy to commit murder.
Oh yeah, that's not one you want to have on you. You don't want conspiracy to commit murder on your ass.
These charges were related to his association with the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods, a violent street gang in New York City. As news of his arrest spread, the rapper's image transformed from a bold and attention-grabbing artist to that of an alleged criminal. His vibrant hair, face tattoos, and social media presence had once captivated fans, but now his legal situation jeopardized his career and freedom. Facing the possibility of a long prison sentence, 6ix9ine made a controversial decision to cooperate extensively with federal authorities. He provided crucial testimony against his former gang members, exposed.
That's also not a good idea. You're in a violent gang in New York City, my man. You can't be. You can't be doing that. You can't be just throwing them away like under the bus like that. I know people we say you should, but you gotta think before you do it. At least don't make it publicly known you're cooperating with them.
Exposing their involvement in various crimes and revealing details about the gang's operations. His cooperation stirred intense media scrutiny, with many questioning his motives and loyalty. Critics accused him of betraying his associates and branded him a traitor. Despite
Oh yeah, 100%. But then again, you do what you gotta do to save your own ass, right? That's the world we live in. You come first before anybody else. That should be the way you go. You should come first before any gang, anything. You go first. You come first. And that's the way he works. The problem is though, is you mess with a gang that come for revenge if necessary. They will.
Despite the backlash, his cooperation played a crucial role in securing convictions against his former gang associates, leading to their arrests and substantial sentences.
You upset with your crew though because of that shooting? Like now you can't perform there at the Barclays Center?
You know, I be beating the shit out of people, you know what I'm saying? Winning every battle I get into, you know what I'm saying? How many L's I took? I haven't took around 1 L.
During his trial, Tekashi 6ix9ine reactions were a mix of defiance, vulnerability, and calculated actions. He didn't hold back from taunting his rivals and engaging in provocative behavior, even during his testimony, where he remained unapologetic and bold. His courtroom appearances became highly publicized events, sparking widespread interest and stirring up a divisive public debate. In 2019, when 6ix9ine received his sentence, he was given a reduced prison term of 2 years due to his cooperation with authorities. However, concerns about his safety and ongoing legal issues continued to linger. Upon his release in 2020, he was placed under supervised release, which came with strict conditions and monitoring.
I'm not shocked by that because, I mean, like, let's be honest here, you kind of have to. Because this man has pretty much put a bullseye on his own head for cooperating with y'all, so you might want to protect him.
Allison Mack sentenced to 3 years behind bars and a $20,000 fine for her role in the NXIVM sex cult.
Allison Mack, a former actress known for her role in Smallville, became a central figure in a shocking scandal involving her connection to the NXIVM cult. This group, founded by Keith Raniere, presented itself as a self-help organization, but operated as a secretive and abusive cult. Mack got deeply involved in NXIVM, and rose to a prominent position in its inner circle. However, in 2018, she was arrested and faced charges of sex trafficking, conspiracy to commit sex trafficking, and forced labor conspiracy. These charges were related to her role in recruiting and grooming women for a secret society within NXYVM called DOS, Dominus Obsequious Sororium.
Unbelievable.
During the trial, disturbing details emerged, revealing the extent of manipulation and coercion within the cult. Mack was involved in recruiting women, branding them with Ranier's initials, and subjecting them to emotional and physical abuse. Her actions demonstrated a willingness to exploit and control vulnerable individuals for the benefit of the cult's leader.
Yep.
As of my knowledge cutoff in September 2021, the legal proceedings regarding Allison Mack's case were still ongoing, and the trial's impact continued to be significant. Her case shed light on the dangers of manipulation and coercion within cult-like organizations and brought attention to the importance of safeguarding individuals from such exploitation.
Well, today she released a letter saying, in part, I threw myself into the teachings of Keith Raniere with everything I had. I believed wholeheartedly that his mentorship was leading me to a better, more enlightened version of myself.
Well, you're a dumb bitch. That's what you are for believing this.
Confronted with the evidence against her, Allison Mack initially pleaded not guilty to the charges. However, later on, she changed her plea to guilty, admitting to racketeering and racketeering conspiracy. In a statement, she acknowledged her involvement in the crimes, expressing remorse for her actions and the harm she caused. During her sentencing, Mack offered a tearful apology, expressing deep regret and shame for her role in the NXIVM organization. She admitted to using her celebrity status to lure and manipulate others into joining the group and took full responsibility for her conduct. The impact of Mack's actions on the victims cannot be overstated. Her case drew attention to the dangers of coercive organizations and the power charismatic leaders can hold over their followers. Mack's sentencing was a crucial moment in holding her accountable.
Again, it will never happen, but I want to interview a cult leader so badly. I want to interview someone, a cult leader or someone who was in a cult before. I want to chat with someone who was in there. I want to know what that feels like. Like, I want to know.
For the harm she caused. However, it also served as a reminder of the complexities involved in cases related to cults, manipulation, and the psychological control that leaders can exert over their followers. The aftermath of the NXIVM scandal continues to unfold, revealing the lasting effects on both the victims and those who were involved in the abuse.
It is sentencing day for actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, Massimo Giannulli. Moments ago, a judge sentenced Giannulli to 5 months in prison. The couple pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges in May for their roles in the college admissions scandal.
Oh, it's just Lori Loughlin's husband. Okay.
They're accused of paying $500,000 to get their daughters into the University of Southern California as fake crew.
Massimo Giannulli, a fashion designer and Lori Loughlin's husband, was also involved in the 2019 college admission.
How do you have to fake spending money to get you there? You guys have money. Why don't you just use your money and pay to get them in the college? What the fuck? You have money.
Scandal that gained significant media attention. At the beginning, both Giannulli and Loughlin stood firm, asserting their innocence. However, as the legal process unfolded, their united front began to weaken. When Giannulli received his 5-month prison sentence, his demeanor was more subdued compared to his earlier appearances. During his sentencing, Giannulli, who typically didn't speak much, expressed remorse for his actions. He admitted, "I deeply regret the harm that my actions have caused my daughters, my wife, and others. I take full responsibility for my conduct. I'm ready to accept the consequences and move forward with the lessons I've learned from this experience." Throughout his trial and sentencing, Giannulli's reactions demonstrated a man grappling with the weight of his wrongdoing. Despite initially being defiant, he eventually showed remorse, signifying a change in his understanding of the consequences of his actions.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think of these. Well, they should just be people reacting to getting arrested, to getting sentenced. Because there's none of them who go spend his life in prison. So this is a fake title. There's a little clickbait title, but it's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit subscribe button. Comment what you think down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all for the next one.